All right, welcome back to the Neuropreneur Rising podcast. This week we were joined by Karrie Lemansky, and it was a bomb episode to say the least. She touched on a topic that is incredibly close to my heart, and a topic I know will be very close to yours too, which is all around self-trust and self-leadership for neurodivergence in business, specifically late diagnosed ADHDers, which I know so many of us are, and how we can navigate this as we move through entrepreneurship and create bigger opportunities, more fulfillment, and more happiness, being our most unfiltered self. So whatever that looks like to you. So I know you're going to love this episode. And with that, let's dive in. Welcome to the Neuropreneur Rising podcast. My name's Polly Pollock. I'm a marketing mentor for neurodivergent online business owners. I've been in the marketing and sales world for nearly a decade, and I've lived through the ups, downs, phases, trends, virality, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. And I'm here to guide you through how to build a sustainable marketing strategy specifically for neurodivergent brains that don't rely on showing up on social media every day, don't require you to force neurotypical productivity hacks, and don't ask you to choose between peace and profit. In these episodes, you're going to find trainings, tips, and personal insights around building an algorithm-proof business, getting visible sustainably, building your online community in a human-first way, making sustainable sales without compromising your values, and how to work with your unique neurodivergence and bring out your natural way of working rather than forcing yourself into someone else's plan. All right, let's dive in. Okay, squad, welcome back to the Neuropreneur Rising podcast. We are doing something a little bit different today. We are actually here with our first ever guest, Karrie Lemansky. This is a big moment for the podcast, guys. Like, we have never had a guest on this podcast before, and I'm super fucking stoked. I honestly couldn't think of a better person to be our first guest. So Karrie is a business mentor, podcast host, and self-proclaimed female feral entrepreneur, which I love, who helps ADHD online coaches grow their business through ruthless simplification and by rebuilding the self-trust that often gets really, really eroded after years of just trying to fit into that traditional system and business model. So Karrie, welcome, and thank you so much for being our first ever guest.
I'm so honored, Polly. I truly am. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here with you.
Yeah, you too. So I have so many questions, as you can imagine. I was reading through your form that you sent, and it was so detailed. And every part I was reading, I was like, I just need to write down a question for like every sentence that you've put. But I
Go
haven't.
for it, baby. You know, we said it's on like Donkey Kong, so
it is.
Guys,
it was so funny. If you saw like mine and Carrie's DMs to each other before we started this call, we were like, I was sending her like, you know that, okay, maybe this is going to be like lost on some people, but like Bob's Burgers where Tina's doing that really awkward like twerking. Anyway, that's how I twerk. But yeah, it was a bundle of fun. So
it's on like Donkey Kong.
It is on like Donkey Kong.
Yes.
Honestly, it's so random. It's so random.
Very good.
So I want to start off, if you don't mind, sharing a little bit about your late diagnosis story, because I think so much of your work and so much of the work around self-trust anyway is going to be so important for people who were late diagnosed and are running a business. So I think you said you were diagnosed at 48. So how did that moment kind of shift your life and your business, and mixing that with being a business owner, going through that kind of dark night of the soul, as you put it?
Yes. Well, I just recently went back to look at the timeline in my medical records because I wanted more accuracy. I'm hopefully writing a book. I keep talking about it. We just got to do it right, about the self-trust gap. So I really wanted to see my history, but I will give you the Cliff Notes version of the story. ADHD came into my radar because something was off. It wasn't anxiety. It wasn't depression. I had been diagnosed with those for 8 years, medication, different types, trying different things. I'm the typical ADHD adult diagnosis, female story. I asked for an assessment. I was told, no, Mrs. Lemansky, you do not have ADHD. You have anxiety and depression, and we have to get your anxiety under control first. And I thought to myself, are we allowed to swear on here?
Oh, fucking go for it. Yeah,
I will
no
always
one's gonna be precious towards
I'm a
that.
fucking sailor, but I'm also no time and place, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck you. Okay. And just was like, believed it.
Yeah.
Didn't didn't listen to my own gut instinct.
Mm,
Almost 2 full mother effing years go by, and I go back to my doctor and I push. And I'm like, nope,
mhm,
this is my every area of my life is being affected. That was the
mm,
key, right? We know that multiple areas of your life. So I pushed and pushed to get just to get an assessment. I'm in the US. It's not like we don't there are other areas where there's like years of waiting. I know what that it's hard to get in. So finally the paperwork came in the mail. I filled it out as I was crying. I turned it in like the next morning. I'm like, I just want to know. And the person who assessed me very quickly was like, mm-hmm. And you have combined type. And I
mhm,
was like, diagnosed while running this business. And I was coaching women with what I called at the time high functioning anxiety because that's what I thought I had.
mhm,
And it was at first a relief,
mhm,
and then all these emotions that were completely unexpected and no one warned me would come, like anger, sadness, loss of time, feeling so misunderstood and finally having a reason for it. There was joy. I was holding every emotion in my body so much at once, I felt nothing. That was
mm,
really what it felt like. I had all of these emotions after relief. And I was like, what the F is wrong with me?
mm,
Went down the rabbit hole like all of us do, like learning about ADHD, truly understanding it. So the benefit to that part was really getting to know and understand ADHD in women inside and out. And I have friends who like write books about women with ADHD, like really truly understand people with ADHD, especially late diagnosed women. And I did the timeline. It was 3 months before my 50th birthday. So that was March 6th of 2023.
mm.
And it rocked me. It rocked
Yeah.
me. And then it changed my life for the better in every possible fucking way. Because once you get out of the other side of that, like, oh my God, what the fuck? You go, wait, I have lived my whole life not knowing. Now I know. Right? Like, I can harness this. I can support the parts that are
Mm,
challenging for me and thrive. It was just a whole different life. And I went
yeah.
through this whole experience on my podcast. It's all in there. It's crazy. So
That's
that's my
amazing.
story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love that you went through the whole process live. And that to me, like the instant thing that I thought was, fuck, that just shows how embodied you truly are in your work. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind. But yeah, man, I couldn't agree more with like the experience I had was exactly the same of like, you feel so much, so many emotions with the late diagnosis because I think it's different when you're diagnosed as a kid. Like, of course, it still has its own,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
oh my God, so much like struggle and hardship kind of feeling labeled. I think a lot of children
Yes,
feel, but
for
being late
sure.
diagnosed, oh my God, it's so it. And I think the older you get, the more it rocks you, I imagine, you know.
I will tell you, girl, when you are almost 50 years old, half a
Uh-huh.
century, and they're like, you know that box you've been trying to open in your body for the last
Yeah.
50 years and you can't fucking figure out what it is, but you know there's some shit in there. And they're
Mhm.
like, by the way, here you go. And they show you, you're like, there's nothing I can't do.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
but at first it does not feel that way.
No,
At first it
no,
feels
oh
like the
my God. You
darkness
feel like
of
a crazy person. You feel like, what
yes.
the fuck? My whole life has been a lie.
Yes. Oh, I thought I was getting early Alzheimer's, early
Uh-huh.
onset dementia or Alzheimer's. And it's
Mm,
funny because I hear that in a lot of my clients. They said, oh yeah, I felt like that. And a
yeah.
lot of times perimenopause is like an intersection where people women usually will find out around college because the structure of high school's gone into college freedom. Now some have the opposite.
Mm,
Some when they give birth for the first time because
mm,
every coping mechanism they have ever had is band-aid is
mm.
ripped off and they're like, here's a child, by the way, take care, good luck to you. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And they call it postpartum depression, but it's oftentimes undiagnosed ADHD for a lot of women
Oh,
or their
yeah.
kids get diagnosed, or perimenopause, menopause. Those are the times for my clients that I just see across the board.
Mm.
Um, the educator part of this just lights me up because
Yeah.
knowledge is power. And had other women before me not spoken up, I would not have known that this was even a possibility of a factor. And it's changed my life. Like I know you said, it's changed yours. And that's like a beautiful thing, even though at first it feels like you are being raked over the coals of hell
Yeah.
sometimes.
It does.
It really
Oh,
does.
that's so interesting what you said about postnatal depression as well. So my mum has actually she was diagnosed after me with ADHD. So we can thank her for my wonderful genes. She's passed that down to me. Thanks, mum. But she struggled bad with postnatal
Yay.
depression and real bad. And, I
Yeah.
think now probably this is going to be her process of really like I guess learning about, okay, maybe that wasn't just that thing. Maybe this was because I'm this way. And, I hope she goes through that journey that I went through. You do learn everything about yourself. And
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
oh, especially when like you said, structures are taken away. Like, I'm going to be so honest. Like, I'm very honest about me and my past and all of that stuff. I was a very unruly teenager, obviously, like no surprise there with the ADHD, but I
What?
so,
Shocking. There's a surprise. None of us were like that at all.
can you tell?
I was the good girl, bad girl. I was like
Yeah,
the good girl, compliant one. And then after high school, it was
yeah,
like
that,
all the
yeah.
things I never did. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
me.
Oh, see, I was like the
Compliant
good
until I
girl.
wasn't.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was the good girl up until I was like 13, and then I just
Mm.
switched, and I was like, you guys are pissing me off. Like, basically, just get
Yes.
out of my face. I couldn't
Yeah.
understand why people were asking me to do stupid shit. Like, I don't want to go to your lesson because
Yeah.
your lessons are boring as fuck. Give me the revision books. I'll go outside the thing, like the classroom. I'll do it on my own, and just leave me alone. And that was like a big problem in school,
Oh, you
obviously.
mean that I could teach your class portion of it?
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, the amount of times I thought I could honestly do a better job at this
Yeah.
because you're so bloody boring. Like,
Yes.
honestly. But
Well, we are
yeah,
interest-based and novelty-based, and they put us
yeah.
in 4 walls and expect us to be able to handle that, like, the way that a neurotypical can. And
Mm,
again, I don't think neurotypicals are bad. I don't think neurodivergents are bad. I think just like anything, there's a spectrum. We're all needed, but I'm telling you, neurodivergent people are on a different wavelength. When we talk
yeah,
to each other, we have a different language that we speak together. It is fucking wild
for sure.
stuff. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. Neurodivergent friendship is like very healing.
It is healing. It's so healing. And I think, yeah, you're right. It's just on another level.
Hmm.
It really, really is. I think I sometimes, and not always at all. And I'm not the kind of person that will like isolate people because they're like not neurodivergent. But
Right.
I do a lot of the time like struggle to have some conversations with people who are very, very neurotypical because I'm like, I just feel so weird. I don't know.
Do you ever wish you had a remote that's like, does this have 1.5 or higher? Like, can
Yeah,
I just speed up
literally.
what you're saying? It's like molasses. Like, I love
Oh
my
my God.
husband dearly, but man, I'm just like, do you come with a speed up button? Like, like on my podcast, I can listen at 1.5 or 2.0. Why can't I do this with your story?
Literally.
I love you. Please speed
Literally.
it up a little. Speed it
I
up.
can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sitting through people's like long drawn out conversation is crazy. But
I
yeah, I
know.
think so much stuff to unpack when you kind of do go through that
Very
late
much so.
diagnosis. And then blending it with business stuff is obviously a different story. I know before your diagnosis, you mentioned you ran 2 six-figure businesses
I
that you
did.
kind of burned to the ground. What was the
Both.
story with that? What was your mindset before that, after that? What did you learn?
Gladly. So, pardon me, my first six-figure business was when I was 26. It would be 1999 was when I became a realtor. Had my own
Mhm.
real estate practice. I was relentless, hyper focused, cold called 8 hours a day, sold 20 houses my first year. You know, like the typical I am an overachiever and I am
Mm,
going to put my pedal to the metal. The national average sales for first year realtor is 2. By my second year, I was working through referral. Like I just understood how to care about
mhm,
people.
mhm,
And I had a really incredible training that I still go back to this day from a mentor who my very, very first mentor and him and his team. And I just learned so much. But what ended up happening was when you go and you go and you go, and then there's more, I want more, I want more, and you are trying to do it the way everyone else is, which is push through, push through, push through. There comes a point where you're like, and I can't push anymore. Face planted. I
Yeah.
could no longer keep up with what I had created. I'm like, why am I like this? Why do I have to do this? And finally I just crashed and burned. And it was right when I, guess what? Shocker, had my
Mm,
kiddo. So I
yeah.
had my kiddo and I had this business. And I'm like, well, you can raise one or the other. like, like
Yeah.
truly, what are you gonna burn down? Not my life of my kid.
Mhm.
So I was like, I cannot do that pace and do this. And so fuck this. And what I did was end up going to work with my husband at the time who owned an appraisal business. And so it was similar field.
Mhm.
And I literally gave away my entire real estate practice to one of my very best friends. And she continued to get referrals all the way until she stopped working as a realtor. So
Wow.
I was able to that's me though. I was able to continue to care for my clients even after the fact they would call me. And I had a friend who I'd known since junior high who I had trained. So
Mhm.
that was the other part was women in business were coming to me going, how the fuck are you doing
Mm,
this? And I'm like, well, I'm thinking I have no kids, no life, no nothing. I
yeah.
can do this. And then when things change, you're like, you take some stock and you realize that you can't keep going that way. That was the first one. The
Yeah.
second was my fitness business. It was mobile, and I also worked within different companies, right? So I would come in, one in particular, I did a lot of the personal training in there, and I did mobile, and I just tried and tried and tried to just keep going and growing at exact fucking same thing. Why? Because I did not realize I have a Ferrari brain with bicycle brake pads, and I don't know how to slow things down because I personally, I'm gonna guess you too, Polly, but I'm combined type. So that
Mhm.
means it's like take all the symptoms, pour them in a little pot of jambalaya,
Yeah.
and here we are, right? We got it all. I joke, I'm like, of course, I'm even an overachiever in ADHD.
Yeah, literally. Oh my, don't. That's so funny. Just like before I forget, that reminds me, when I got my diagnosis, it was like, I don't know, it was like 12 questions out of
Yeah,
like 12 things that you could get right out of
yeah.
X amount, like 4 sections, and I got
Right.
full marks. And I said to the guy, I was like, holy fuck, this is like the highest I've ever scored on a test. And he was like,
I had a girlfriend afraid to go get testing because she's afraid she would fail it. I mean, I'm telling you, our brains are motherfuckers. These little brain goblins who are in it,
oh my
we are
god.
brilliant. We are some
Yeah.
of the most intelligent people
Yeah.
I know. And I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm
No,
saying that
true.
because our brains, different areas of our brains fire at
Mhm.
the same time. That is not neurotypical.
No. Yeah,
They
you're right.
have one area that will light up to solve. There is scan after scan that shows our brains light up differently. Don't tell me it's not real. That's bullshit. But we truly are put in the gifted class for a reason. We
Yeah.
have that, but we also have these other things where you have that executive function. Where let's just talk about being women.
Mm.
Societal expectation of you've got to know it all, you've got to hold the household together, you got to do this with the kids, you got to do that with the dog, you got to get to this doctor's appointment, blah blah blah. And no offense to men, because there are a lot of wonderful men who do half of the labor, but a
Yeah.
lot of women have invisible motherfucking labor that we do
Mhm.
not talk about. And
Yeah.
that invisible labor oftentimes is what cracks women when and we realize like, oh, okay, ADHD, something's going on, something is a factor here. But it's just it's so wild to think of how unique our brains are because
Yeah.
you and I being in the world that we're in, we deal with neurotypical people all day long. I
Mm.
mean, neurodivergent people. So it's
Mm.
what we know, it's what we love.
Yeah.
But we also think that's like all the people in the world
Mm.
when it's not the majority by a long shot. And we forget the things we can do that we just are so naturally good at We
Hmm.
feel like, "Oh, that doesn't have any value. That's fucking easy to me." I'm like, "Are you joking?" Right? Do you
Yeah. And it's because we have like no point of reference. And I
No.
always fall into that trap of like, I don't, it's this story I fucking play out because I'm like you, I'm that like high achiever thing has always
Yeah.
been like baked into me, but it's been in
Yeah.
like a rebellious way. And I
Yes,
always say like,
baby,
oh, you're not
yes.
working hard enough. Like there's too much white
Yes.
space in your calendar. Like
Ah!
I
Mm.
refuse to placate to that bullshit anymore. I have to have those boundaries because I'm like, fuck, I know I'm fucking working hard enough.
Yes.
I've got like X hours of white space in my calendar per day, and I'm still probably getting twice the amount done as
Well,
anyone else because my brain
oh, yeah.
works that fast.
Well, that's one of the thing I point out to my clients that I'm sure you point out too. Our please lean in if you are listening right now and you are neurodivergent. Our 50% is everybody else's 120. Do you
Yes.
understand me? When we
Mhm.
are giving 50% effort, it looks like fucking immaculate.
Yeah.
It's
It's like
perfection. It's genius. And we're thinking, I'm so underprepared. And you are so much more. You are, so, dude, walk into a room with the confidence of a man with 20% confidence. Walk in with your badassery because honestly, what we believe to be like 50% effort
Mm.
is truly, how do I put this without being a dick? We are fast fucking thinkers. We
Yeah,
connect
we are.
constellation thinking, like we see things in ways others can't. And it's a
Mm.
beautiful thing. And we need to stop pretending that that's not an asset and support the parts that are challenging because they do exist. They do
Yeah.
exist.
Oh, so you're so right. Like, of course we struggle with things, and like really being aware and so empathetic with yourself around those struggles is so important. But something that my partner always says, Jack, he said
Hi,
this in
Jack.
a
Nice to meet you, Jack.
wherever you are.
Wherever you are, Jack. I'm just here drinking tea with your lady.
He's at work, he's at work right now, but you know he's here in spirit. But he said it so wrong the first time he said it. He was like, ADHD like wouldn't be real though, like if the world was different. Or he said it in like a really weird way, and I was like, it's definitely fucking real, Jack. I think we both know that. Also, you're like pretty much undiagnosed ADHD as well, pal. And he was like, no, I don't, you're not getting what I mean. But what he was kind of getting at, which took him like a day to explain, was he's
Words
literally
words
he's
are
riddled
hard.
with it. He's riddled with it.
We
But
love him.
it, we love him.
We
He
love
was
him.
kind of saying, if the structures weren't built the way they are in the world, in the school systems, in the work systems, in business, then ADHD wouldn't be a problem. It would be
Well,
like,
well,
it
think
would be
about it.
a thing.
Think about before the Industrial Revolution, shall we?
Hmm.
Like, let's talk a little bit of
Let's
American history
let's
here.
go to yeah.
We're going to bring in the Industrial Revolution before our skills just as a family, in a family dynamic with probably grandparents, more of a village, right? And if you were talented at multiple things, this was lauded.
Hmm.
Then it was beautiful, right? Of course, duh. And so then comes the invention of, okay, the cars, and we're going to industrialize in 7 days a week. Well, we can't do that because our own people can't buy our fucking cars. Okay, now it's 5 days a week and Monday through Friday. Well, now where are we going to put our kids when we're working Monday through Friday? We're going to put them in school, right? And here's the thing. I think school is fucking important. I think we need to learn how to diversify school across the world to make sure that the neurodiversity is taken into account. But how? Without feeling like we are being put in special ed classes because we are not, we're brilliant. Okay, we have technicolor brains and see shit other people can't. And then we are told, no, you are doing this the wrong way because this is not how it is. And we're like, in our minds for a long time, let's bring this to the self-trust gap because I think that's where this is going to go in this part of the conversation. Before, if we're undiagnosed as women, by the way, the average age for boys is 7, average age for women is 37. So let's just start with that discrepancy. If you get past age 12, male or female, born as male, born as female, you're going to get 20,000 negative messages more than your neurotypical peers by the time you're fucking 10 to 12.
Yeah.
That's astronomical. Even if that number is a guesstimate, it's William Dodson, I don't know, Dr. Dodson. That's
Mm.
one of his statistics, and he said that, and I was like, "And we wonder why. We
Yeah.
wonder why we think we're less than. We wonder why we think we're undeserving. We wonder why we think we're stupid. We're not doing enough." It's because if we aren't doing it in this very specific way that the law or the world or whatever has told us to do, then we are wrong.
Yeah.
We are restless. We are zoning out. We are disassociating. We are whatever. What does that mean? Our whole life, what are we hearing though, Polly? We are the problem.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, for
And
sure.
one day you are handed this magical moment of, wait, I am not the problem, you motherfuckers. It has been what's happening around me this whole time, and if I support myself in this way and that, I'm gonna eat you for breakfast.
Yeah.
They don't There are things I believe in society to make sure that divergent, rule-wrecking people
Yeah.
stay chill as fuck,
Yeah.
and, we can be chill and also go out there and create incredible businesses. I
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing what our brains are capable of, but we are told for so long. So I feel like what happens to women, and
Mm.
this truly is gonna be the topic of my book, and I'm not sure if it's gonna be a business book or just an ADHD book yet. I'm not
Mhm.
sure yet. Maybe a little 50-50, we'll see. But what happens is we get diagnosed, and there's this point from when we get diagnosed to a certain time frame. There's no It's different for every woman, for every human who goes through this, because men get late diagnosed too. It's this gap in self-trust. It's
Yeah.
that whole lifetime of being told, "You cannot trust your instincts. You cannot trust your brain. You cannot trust the way you think. You cannot trust anything about your instinct. So,
Mm.
you need to look around you and mask the fuck up and make
Mm.
sure you look like, sound like, talk like, act like everybody else, or you're gonna be an outcast." Now think about that if we go back in
Mhm.
the cave terms, that meant death. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Literally.
we're getting into, like, some nervous system regulation shit here, right? We're out of the tribe, we're
Mhm.
gonna die. There's
Yeah.
no meat and berries, we're dead, we're gonna be eaten
Yeah.
by a jaguar, right? All joking aside, but that's the feral instinct of our body, right?
Yeah.
Our body wise, but also no tiger, right?
Yeah.
So we're living at this heightened state, but there's no tiger. So we have this gap to close.
Mm.
And part of it is healing, part of it is speaking with other women who have experienced late diagnosis, even men who've experienced late diagnosis. Like I said, Stephen Bartlett, and I was
Yeah.
talking earlier, Stephen Bartlett and Trevor Noah's conversation man to man about late
Mm.
diagnosis just made me bawl, cry.
Mm.
It was beautiful because I could understand that experience. But it's just like, I don't know. I wish that it didn't have to be so hard to go through that dark night of the soul. But anybody who's in there right now, please understand you're gonna come out the other side, and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful, and it's worth rebuilding that self-trust, and that takes little micro moments of doing small things over and over again, like you would in any other relationship to build trust. If I'm gonna build trust with you, Polly, it's gonna be small micro moments of
Yep.
me saying, "I'm gonna do something," and doing it and being there, and you going, "Oh, I can trust Karrie. She's
Mhm.
gonna be here for me." Now turn that on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Alrighty, guys, quick pause for a sec because I want to invite you to my free monthly co working sessions that I hold every month for all you procrastinating little neuropreneurs who always seem to have that one thing that you know you really need to do, but you never actually get it done, me included. It's usually my admin. So, honestly, I know you've probably got a pile of those marketing freebies and PDFs stacking up behind the scenes right now. So, I thought you might want something a little real like this. So, these sessions are super chill. You can bring whatever you're working on and use the body doubling energy of the group to light a fire under your ass to get it done. You can keep your camera on, off, give me the silent treatment or say hi. It's totally up to you. And you'll be able to ask me anything you like in the chat to get some free coaching from me. I'll leave the link in the show notes and you can sign up and join every month for free. See you there.
That's the self-trust gap way. I'm sorry, that's the way to kind of start to, not kind of, I know for a fact, to start shrinking that
Mhm.
And once I start seeing women start shrinking that and seeing what starts happening, it makes me cry. This is why I
Yeah.
love this work we do. And I don't know how you feel with your work. I'm pretty sure we're emotional people. It's
Oh
ADHD.
my God. Yeah. I'm
It's
crying
like,
all the time.
I know, I do too. People are like, "You cry with your clients?" I'm like, "You don't?
Yeah.
Are you a fucking freak of nature? What's wrong with you? Did you see what she just did?" Like, one of my clients posted, she did this beautiful partially nude sequence,
Mhm.
with a photographer, like, boudoir, and she posted it. And I'm like, "You're such a bad bitch," but it's that kind of trust when she came to me in such a different way.
Mhm.
And that is the power of what we do when we help each other do it together.
Yeah.
There's like a different way we work together as neurodivergent people.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I just went on a really long tangent.
No, it was amazing, honestly. So much of what you said. And do you know what I think it is? It's like why we work so well together. I think especially in the coach client kind of relationship is, at least for me anyway. I know as the coach I'm X amount of steps ahead of my
Sure.
clients. I know I'm qualified to help them, but I feel like there's this shared pain that we alchemize together in that client coach relationship, and I think that that's really where the depth of it comes from. And
Mhm.
like for me, it's like when my clients obviously make amazing income, that is like obviously huge win. It's really like the surface level of what we do this for. But there's always the thing that makes me like
Mm.
well up is, like you said, the confidence piece. And it's that knowledge that it's like I'm fully confident doing this, and I'm just like fuck that. That's the real like for me
Yes.
anyway. That's what makes me like get emotional.
Oh, yeah, like, because I definitely pay attention to my clients' social medias and, not to judge or critique them, but just, to be like, "Look at you, badass," because I
Yeah.
will see them butting up against a wall they can't get past, and then boom, they get past it, and I
Mhm.
start seeing it showing up in their marketing. I start seeing it showing up in their business, in
Mhm.
how they speak about their business or in their offers, how they tweak their offers to really because one of the other things is offer delivery, making sure that you are having offers that you want to deliver. Because if you
Yeah.
hate delivering them, you're gonna fucking hate them anyway. So, you
Yeah.
finding that kind of delivery system for your offer, like, there's so
Mhm.
many different ways to do that, but just seeing when they have that moment when you are on the, outside truly looking at them
Yeah.
and seeing it really start happening, and you're just like, "Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
somehow had a helpful hand in that, even if it's just a little one." And for me, it's the ripple effect of all the other people it's gonna affect that have nothing to do with me. I
Yeah.
am never gonna know every hand or every human 'cause some clients are business to business, some are
Mhm.
business to consumer. So, we never know how many people we're gonna touch, but when we have that ripple effect on another ADHD woman or another neurodivergent human, that kind of ripple effect is different because we care extra.
Yeah.
And we will most of the time do so much good with it. And that
Mhm.
is the kind of people like I will not let someone hire me if I do not believe I can help their business or help them
Mhm.
or believe in their business or like, if I just can't feel it, I don't want
Yeah.
to insult them by taking them on, right? It
Oh, for
happens so
sure.
rarely. It happens so rarely
Yeah, it
because
does
it
happen rarely. It does but I know what you mean. Like, I think part of it is, like you say, we care extra, and we like, I have to really feel like I'm a fit for my students, and like also
Yes.
their business is a fit for me. And if someone has a business where it's like, and again, this has happened literally like once or twice at the most in my whole
Mhm.
like career, there's like a fundamental mismatch, or the personalities are just like a complete
Yeah.
mismatch. I just won't take them on because I have to feel like I can be in their business and like really rooting for it, because I'm also
Yeah.
the type of person, I'll get way more excited about my client's success than my own success. I'll be there like fucking crying, like jumping up and down, like literally having a dance party. And then when my own like successes come about, I'm like, yay, woohoo. But I'm not like to the extent, I'm just like, yay, okay, cool.
Well,
On to the next thing.
because
And
we're
that's to
box
my detriment.
checkers. Well, because we're box checkers. We're like, "Check that box On to the next, check
Yeah,
that box.
that's
On
oh,
to the
yeah,
next.
for
What's the
sure.
next dopamine? What's the
Yeah.
next box check? So instead of going, I just got a master's degree, I should celebrate. I'm like, okay, master's degree, let's check, boop, boop. Like that's literally, I will have clients where I'll be working them for a month or two and they'll be like, oh yeah, I have my master's in blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like just forgetting their experience. I
Yeah.
remember I remember being in my first coaching cohort in 2021, the first time I like hired my own coach to
Yeah.
really get serious and be full time in my online
Mhm.
coaching. And she's like, "What's your unique proposition?" And I'm like, "I don't have one." Like every client, "What's unique about you?" Nothing.
Mhm.
Every
Yeah.
intake form is like that. I'm just like, "I love you. I'm gonna pull it out of you." Okay, cool. We'll get there. But oh, damn it, I lost my train of thought.
That happens to me literally like 10 times an episode when I'm doing a solo one. I'm like, wait, guys, wait. Just give me a sec. Wait, you said your coach, and she said, "What's your unique proposition?"
Oh, and I said
And then yeah,
nothing when it was actually I've owned a business for more than half my life. So
yeah.
now I'm at like 27-ish years of being in entrepreneurship and business
Mhm.
ownership and all that stuff. But I told her nothing. She looked at me, she goes, "So your 20 something plus years of experience is nothing?" And I was like, "Oh." Like, how do we just go, "Oh, MBD, no big deal."
Mm.
No, I
Yeah,
forgot about
literally,
that. But it's because
literally.
we do
It's
something, check the box, keep
yeah,
moving,
yeah.
right?
And we're so fucking humble. And this is I see it exactly the same with my students as well. It's like I don't know if I'm like like I had a student the other week. She was like, I can't remember what she said. She said, I don't feel like I have much social proof because I don't have many clients in my offer. I don't think I have enough. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, you wrote a book? And she was like, oh yeah. But it was like on a different topic. I was like, it doesn't fucking matter. You wrote a book. So, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, you're awesome. I think you forgot that. Like, well, yeah, I think that's like social proof.
You know, the whole reason you write a book is to have social proof. It's like
Legit.
all right there.
But
Hello.
I'm the same. I'll just forget it, and I'll need to like do a real audit like once a month to just like remember, okay, look how far you've come.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
that's really
you look
smart.
back and yeah, it just it's crazy. We're too humble. We
My
really are.
well, my favorite thing is to look back through my camera roll each month, like on the first day of the month or the last day of the previous month, because I'm like, I didn't
Yeah.
do anything this month. And then you go
Mm.
look through your camera roll and you're like, that's a load of bullshit. You know, I call it, I actually have a name for it. It's called proof of opposite. And
Yeah.
so when my clients' brains start, being dumb
Mhm.
and the little ADHD goblins are being assholes, I'm like, okay, you're going to set a timer, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't care how long. And you're going to
Mhm.
write out a list of everything that you've ever accomplished that you didn't think you were going to be able to, but you got to the other side of.
Yeah.
Anything that you can possibly think of that you're proud of accomplishing, all that. And I want you to write that down on a list. It can be on a piece of paper, it can be in a note app. I don't
Mhm.
care. And every time that brain gremlin tries to lie to you, I want you to pull out that piece of paper because we have this thing called neuroplasticity. And your
Mhm.
brain is used to showing you all of the things that are wrong with you, that are negative. We have a negativity bias in our brains naturally. As humans with ADHD, it's like to the nth.
Yeah.
So you need to prove that opposite. 1 second. So when you have that list,
Mhm.
you can keep pulling that out and giving the truth to your brain. When you do
Mhm.
that, it really does start to change the way you see things. But I still need to read the list
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Like
for sure.
every coach has this, and like I get it
Hmm.
in the what I teach. Obviously, you get it to a degree as well. Like just because we know what to do and we can help people, we sometimes still struggle with the fucking thing. Like,
Yes, of
but we
course.
just know we just have the tools to move through it quicker. But it doesn't mean that we don't
That's the
still come
key.
into contact with the things as a coach. So
That's
true.
the key is that we have learned how to understand our own, like for me, I understand my own ADHD traits, the
Yeah.
symptoms, the things that come up for me. I know what they are. Knowledge is power. When you know something like that, you have so much more of a say than you think you do. You
Yeah.
really do. And are there days where your brain's just going to be like, today we potato? Yes, of course, because you'll have a day where you hyper focused for 17 hours straight. And you're like, why am I so tired today? I can
God.
tell you why. Because you
Yeah.
sat without a snack for 16 hours at your laptop,
Yeah.
So it's just proof of the truth, proof of
Mm,
opposite, proof of what is real. And the more we show that to our brain, the more it starts creating a roadblock, right?
yeah.
So every time you start showing it the truth of the reality, it creates a roadblock, and it's not perfect, but it helps. Like if it helps 80% of the time,
Yeah.
that's a huge win. If you can have a say over those things 80% of the time, it's massive, and we all can. And
Hmm.
it's a lot of choices of taking care of ourselves and how are we going to do that and making sure that we do that. And in some parts of business, you feel like you are at a sprint.
Hmm.
But it doesn't always have to feel like that. And for ADHD people, simplification is the name of the game.
Yeah.
There has a point where, because our brains are so complex, we're like, everything should be complex. And then we're like, why are we dropping balls? Well, you're juggling too much shit. So
Yeah.
the simplification happens when you also trust yourself. That's how the two marry. So when you rebuild that self-trust and you trust that you can simplify and have white space and you're not going to die if you have white space or time off or downtime, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like,
Yeah.
no, there isn't always something you should be doing. Can you? Of course, we can always find stuff, but you are the most important asset of your business. And if you are unwell and not able to have a business you can sustain, that will burn you out. But there is a better way. And when you start working with your brain, it's pretty life changing.
Yeah. It is.
It's pretty
It is.
freaking life changing. Yeah.
You're so right. Like that's something that I think we'll be learning for a hot minute. I think is like that white space in your calendar. You're not gonna die. Like I also found that when I was moving like up in entrepreneurship, I found it really hard to ask for help and hire out. And I was just like, "Ugh, I can do it myself though." And also it doesn't help that I was raised by a very hardworking mum and dad, but I was
Yes.
also raised with the mindset of like, why pay someone else to do it when you can do it yourself? But like now my dad's in retirement and that motherfucker just pays everyone to do anything, so he's just completely I think it's because he's got money now and it's like, right, so fine.
Well,
um
yeah, but it's what's funny though is I'm like, Sarah Blakely probably answered her emails in the beginning of Spanx, but that bitch does not answer that shit now.
yeah,
So if
exactly.
you think that anybody who has done anything major or massive in their business has walked that alone,
Mm-hmm.
and you are shaming yourself because you, for some reason, cannot carry it all, they're not carrying it all.
Yeah.
That's like the smoke screen. Nobody is truly carrying it all. Maybe in the very, very beginning, but there is some support that has to come in because you alone will hit a cap. You will hit a ceiling. There is only so much you can do. But what's funny, and I don't know if you found this to be true, I offboarded just a couple of the tiniest dumb things. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I have all this space
Yes.
because those tiny dumb things take up so
Yeah.
much room in our brain because we are judging ourselves and shaming ourselves of, well, why can't you just do that? It's
Mm.
just scheduling your reels for the week. Like, what's the big deal? It's like, well, yeah, I have executive functioning issues. I
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah,
it
there's a
doesn't
block
always wanna work. Yeah, it
there.
doesn't
Hmm.
always wanna do that. So, at a certain point in your business, doing that, all it does is give you some time back that you can either choose to fill or not.
Hmm.
That's another option.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But it can be the smallest things, and having a business model that is conducive to your energy ebbs and flows. Like, I know you say this too, there's literally no one way to do this.
No,
None.
there's not.
Not one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
true, and like I think there's a temptation, especially with ADHD, isn't honestly, like I have to pull myself back from this sometimes because what I really want is like I don't want a big team. I don't want a
Same.
huge business. I actually don't really care about making multiple millions a year plus. It's just right now at least it's just like that's not my what I want. And
Right.
that's because I don't want to be running a team, and I don't want to be like managing people all day, every day. I want to be working with my students.
Yeah.
But the tasks that I want to offload are like more like the back end operations, and my VA is a
Amen.
wonderful, amazing human being. But I want to spend more time being the front of my business. I want to talk to people in my community and work with my students and all of the above. But I have no appreciation or time for the menial shite that honestly my VA can do so much better, because she has a completely different, set of skills than me, and she's amazing, and she just honestly shows me up like all the time, and I love her for it. She just really
Right.
is, just shits all over me in that respect, like, which she's just so much better at that stuff than I am. So
But think about this. You have given her the ability to do her thing that
yeah,
she
for
loves.
sure.
So why would we spend like 3 days trying to figure out some dumbass
Yeah,
tech thing when we can
yeah,
hand it to somebody who can
yeah,
fix it in an hour? Well, it's
yeah.
because, well, I can do it myself. Okay, there's a point in entrepreneurship where the whole I can do it myself thing has to
Mm,
go. But
yeah,
also, it does not mean, because I'm like you, I've been determining like how big do I want my practice to be?
yeah.
And I have more of an idea now. And because I've looked at other coaches and other
Mhm,
mentors and see how they're running, and they're like building these big machines. And I'm like, that
mhm.
is so beautiful for you. I
Yeah,
don't want that fully. I know of the version of that I want,
yeah,
and it
that's
looks
it. Yeah.
different and it looks right for me and my brain.
Mhm.
Because I don't know about you, but I like being hands-on, high touch, elbows deep, all up in it
Yeah,
with my clients, sharing
yeah,
screens, fixing shit in real time. That's
that's
my
exactly it.
preference. How scalable is that? Some of it is scalable, some of it is not, right?
Yeah,
So it's then it becomes about capacity and charging based on also your expertise and experience. I'm a specialist. I am not a
mhm.
generalist. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
charging generalist prices. I've been in
That's
business for
it. Yeah,
27 years,
yeah,
right?
for
But I'm
sure.
also not like some of the coaches out there who are 150,000 a year. I'm not that
Yeah,
either. Like
no.
there's there's everything in the middle, right?
Mhm.
But I really feel after working with as many women who are neurodivergent as I have, that we need to work with each other or somebody who completely understands. Like one of my mentors has a husband who has ADHD. I'm like, that's good enough for me because
Yeah,
she
you
gets it.
understand. Yeah,
Correct. I
yeah.
just want the understanding, not the shaming or the judging.
Mm.
I want the understanding and the feedback, right? Here I want the feedback, right? I
Yeah,
want the nuance. That's what I hired her for, right? But making sure that we really hire intentionally. That's also something that I wish I could just sit down with every neurodivergent person and just go hire very cash is they, because there are people out there who do give a shit. Like we
yeah.
really, really care. We are
Mhm.
out here.
Yeah, oh, you're so right, and I think that that's such a testament to you and your like your values, and we share the same values, which I love so much. And you're right. I think it does make a difference. Like I've often thought as well, like, is this scalable? And then I've gone into what would I have to do to make it scalable to multi-million, dollars per year? And I'm just like, I don't want to fucking do it, because one, it's going to exhaust me doing it that way. And I know that you don't have to. I know there's nuance.
Mhm.
I know, but it's also going to mean potentially me loosening up on quality and intimacy. That's just not something that I'm prepared to do. I would rather
Right.
keep the intimacy and raise my prices, because yes,
Mhm.
it's of course about my students' results, but it's also about what gives me enjoyment. Like
Yes. Oh my God,
I
yes.
don't want
That's
to not have
first.
the, yeah, literally.
That's
And like the
first.
intimacy is what creates enjoyment for me, and I feel so
Right.
happy when I'm working with people in that way. So I don't really care if it's like, scalable to millions and millions. I don't really want that anyway. And you know I think, often I go back to, when I first started working with neurodivergent entrepreneurs. And I was kind of like, okay, to make it scalable, and maybe I have to branch out and stop working with neurodivergent entrepreneurs. And then I'm like, but that's what people fucking hire me for. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
so yeah, it's the
exactly.
self-trusting again, and you have to
Mhm.
rein it in. And I haven't made that mistake of trying to do all the things. And that's actually, I've made a fuck ton of mistakes in my business journey. Do not get me wrong, so
Haven't
many.
we all? But see that, who better to teach,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I burned down 2 six-figure businesses and was diagnosed while running this business and learned how to trust myself and
Mm,
simplify over the last 3 years. I
yeah.
am 52, almost 53. If I can fucking do that,
Yeah.
anybody can.
Yeah.
Anybody can. However, what do you love getting paid for? How do you love to deliver? These things
Mm,
all matter for our energy and our energy ebbs and flows. And
yeah.
every business doesn't have to look the same. Some businesses just want to sell, you know, courses or their own
Hmm.
things that are specific and special to them, and that
Hmm.
works for them with offer bumps and upsells and that's one way. That's a lot more hands off. If you want to be more
Yeah.
hands off,
Yeah.
there's a business model for that, right? So
For sure.
it's really thinking the thing I think is, what do I love getting paid to do?
Mm,
And it's literally my deep dive. That
yeah.
90-minute deep dive is my favorite because they walk in looking scared shitless, like I'm going to judge them like some other buddy probably has,
Yeah.
and shame them and walk in and tell them everything that's wrong with their business. And then I hand them a plan and I go, no, see, this is for your brain. That was Android. This is Apple iOS. Like read this and tell me, let's go through this together. And when I go through that and they leave feeling calm and clear as an ADHD person, being calm and clear, that's the moment because I know they now see, oh, not only is this doable, it's doable for me, my brain. I can actually carry this and it gets to look however I want it to. If I want to make 100K a year, great. If I want to make a million, great. I can tell you how to do all those things. You just get to decide what size business you want to carry, and it gets to be refined along the way. There's like no, it's like saying there's one way to wrap a present, okay?
Yeah.
Or one way to drive to your local supermarket. Like
Yeah.
there's tons of ways. So, you know, that was the biggest win for me was really finding the way I love to deliver and then stop being embarrassed about the fact that I like the deep dive instead of the superficial
Yeah.
and being okay with that.
Yeah, especially in the coaching world when I've always felt really shitty about so many, and this is going to be my last question in a minute that kind of ties into this. I always
Sure.
felt really fucking shitty about like this rhetoric in the coaching industry of like a few years back it was kind of a really common phrase I kept seeing of like stop trading your time for money, and I'm like, why the fuck would I want to do that? I want to like give my time and be paid for that. Like I don't really, and I think
I
it's again, it's
know, I
fair.
know.
Like some
Yeah.
people run businesses just for the money, and like that is not a bad thing. When you're money hungry and selfish and sleazy, like that's a totally different thing. You can totally be hands-on and still be that. Believe me, I've had some
Mhm.
bad coaching experiences. But
Mhm.
when people run businesses just for the money, that's okay. And that works for them. Again, kind of like what we were talking about when it's like if you want to have your courses and be hands off, that's totally fine. But I think for someone who is doing it for the money and then the additional, like the main thing, which is the change, the working with people, um,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, you've just taken my purpose away with that one statement. So I'm not going to stop
Right,
trading
and
my time for money.
and, you know, it's like I've been online on Instagram specifically since 19
19, whoa.
um, no,
Yeah.
you're like, "No, I did since the 1900s." No, since in a business capacity
Mhm,
since 2019. So I've
mhm.
definitely seen all of the, like, waves you're talking
The
about.
changes.
And here's what actually works in business. Doing what you say you're gonna do,
Yeah.
you know, honoring your word. And if something happened where you couldn't honor your word, apologize, talk about why. Don't give an excuse, just share and keep moving. Like we are all humans. Like I've had to cancel something on my sisterhood call last week because I'd been sick.
Mhm.
And I had one client who was about to be at the end of her contract, and that was going to also be her last call. I'm like, oh, well, you're staying in for next week because this is my problem, not your problem. And she said to me, thank you for showing me how to handle that so
Yeah.
professionally. And I laugh because, you know, the word professional is definitely one of those like loaded words. Like, you're not professional because you
Yeah.
say fuck all the time. And I'm like, well, they also say that we have higher IQs because we swear. So whatever, honey.
Yeah. I love that.
But But no, it's just I'm done watching women, I'm done
Mhm.
watching humans like us be shamed, and
Yeah.
I'm ready for you all to be lauded and see the technicolor brain you have and stop judging that the way you think is wrong. You know,
Mhm.
it's different, it's diverse, it's divergent, it's a beautiful thing, and so getting to sit with each person in that one-on-one session and see them see that moment is truly the moment I know the ripple effect is already done. I'm like, my work is done here, even though they're here for 6 months with me or however long they're with me, a year.
Yeah.
So it's just that's one of the coolest moments because then they know it can happen, and then I just watch them just start running because they, like, realize, "Oh, they just had the wrong software the whole time." Ugh, so cool.
Yeah, it's like that penny dropping moment of realizing that you can do it and then beginning to trust yourself. And it's
Mm,
just, I think it's that awareness moment for a lot of people, isn't it?
that marriage of that moment of,
Mm.
"Oh, not only is this doable, I know I can do it."
Yeah.
Mm, chef's kiss, baby.
You've just summed it up so perfectly. And I know so many of my listeners are going to just be like eating this up and just loving it. And I know it's going to be so impactful for so many people. So thank you so much. I
Oh, you're
do
welcome.
have a little wild card question for you
Yes, I
that's
love
just
these.
like don't think about it too
Okay,
much. Just like
okay.
quick fire answer it.
Alright.
Okay. So what is, if there was one that you had to pick, what is one piece of mainstream business advice that you think is absolute bullshit for neurodivergent entrepreneurs?
There's only one way to grow your business.
It's got to be that. It's got to be.
Oh, anytime I hear there's one way, I'm all run away
Yeah.
from that person.
Or
My
like,
way is the only way.
that's
Here is my method.
exactly it.
It's
Yeah.
like, boo, no, that's the way that worked
Mm.
for you. That's you're
Mhm.
selling the way that worked for you, right? That's
Yeah.
where a good coach comes in because I'm going to sell you not the way that works for you. I'm not even
Mm.
going to sell you. I'm going to tell you how I can help you and how I'm going to be able to show you how to start to help build trust in yourself and
Yeah.
start simplifying. And that simplification is truly the thing
Mhm.
that grows their business. They don't even have to focus on the other stuff. They literally just focus on those things and it starts happening. So I would say the biggest piece of mainstream business advice is that, there's only one way to do it.
Yeah.
And having any shame in the process of that quote unquote overnight success that took you 10 years, don't feel bad
Mhm.
about that because I know some fucking whip smart, incredible people on Instagram who I've been friends with for a long time. And it took them 5 years, 10
Yeah.
years. And all of a sudden it was just like, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
So
True.
tenacity is something we do not, tenacity is something we have.
Yeah.
We are
It
tenacious
is.
and we have stick to itiveness and we know how to figure things out. So just
Yeah.
don't believe the normie business coaching industry BS that says there's only one way to do something because there is not.
There is
There are
not.
so
It's
many more.
bullshit. It's
It is.
bullshit. And I think you touched on just before. I swear I could talk to you all fucking day, but we will round off soon.
One of these days, you're gonna have to like download this in at like
Yeah.
1.1 or 1.2.
Yeah. We'll have to do a part two. We really will. But I
For
think,
sure, I'd love that.
yeah, for sure there's the and I just lost my train of thought. I love it. Oh good. It's happened twice in this episode.
That's okay.
Um
That's how we roll.
oh fuck, it's gone. It's actually gone.
The
God
lemming
damn.
just jumped off the cliff.
Yeah. Well, it was something about, yeah, the normie coaching
Oh,
industry
the
and oh
normie
yeah,
coaching
being an
industry and
overnight
only
success.
oh,
That
yes.
was it. There's this idea that like you should be an overnight success. And I'm like, no one is an overnight success, rarely.
Yeah,
And has a sustainable business. There are
right.
people who like peak and then they fall,
We've
especially in the
watched them.
Instagram world, you know.
Have you
Um,
seen him? Because I have. I've seen him come,
oh
I've seen him go, and guess what?
bro.
I'm still here and so are you. So,
Yeah.
there's something to going more of a slow burn, or as I
Yep.
see it now being called granny. It's like Granny the
Granny
gran
face.
have you been seeing that Granny pace
No.
thing where they're like, "I'm not doing the hustle pace. I want long-term grandma legacy shit." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yes."
Yeah, I am the grandma. I
Exactly.
love that shit. I
Yeah.
love that.
Because
Yeah,
I
like you
want
have to take it
long-term.
slow.
I'm literally not here to be done in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
here to be here for the
Exactly.
long term. This is not a thing I'm dabbling in. This is my career and I love it.
Yeah.
And so that I think is what makes the difference between these people who hot flash and then they disappear, or the trends that hot flash and disappear. If you just continue to show up and talk to the people that you know you are designed to help, and you continue to put one foot in front of the other, even
Mhm.
if you have had to take a part-time job, even if you
Mhm.
have had to do things to fund that dream, even if you are working a job and doing this, whatever you're doing on the side,
Mhm.
remember it's funding your dream.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
look at it that way instead of, oh, I have this job, if you're like, this is funding where I'm going to go. So I'm going to be appreciative of this because one day I'm not going to have to be here. Fucking hooray. Right? Do
Yeah,
what you need to do because it is worth it. The
it
freedom is
is.
worth it. Oh
It fucking is. It's not going to be easy. It's
God.
hard, but I always say, like, I remember when I was working a full-time job and I was doing my business,
Ooh, I shudder.
that was so fucking hard, man. And
Yes.
like, don't get me wrong, there is like stuff in as you progress in entrepreneurship that will feel scarier, and like there's more shit
Mhm.
that you kind of have to trudge up and work through. But in
Yes.
terms of like, nothing's fucking harder than that. So if you're doing that now, anyone who's listening, you're an absolute baddie, and it's
Mhm.
gonna get easier. It's never gonna be
Mhm.
harder than this. So it's all good.
Well, and the other thing is too, is that, some people are like, how could you be an entrepreneur? You don't have a steady paycheck, you don't have this, you don't have that.
Mm,
And I'm like, well, which shit sandwich do you want to eat? Because
exactly.
there are pluses and minuses on both sides. Which hard do you want to choose? I'm choosing this hard. Don't judge my hard.
Mm,
You don't
yeah.
get to. It's none you.
No.
It's none of your business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing is tune out anybody who is telling you to why are you doing this? Why would
Mm,
you choose this? Isn't this hard? Doesn't this why can't you just, my least favorite sentence on the face of the fucking planet. Why
yeah.
can't you just fill in some blank?
Yeah.
Keep fucking going.
Mm. Yeah, I'm
That's
not
all
here
I'm
for
saying.
just. Like, if
Yeah.
I was here for just, then I wouldn't be
Mm-mm.
fucking doing this. And also,
Right.
I always think the people that are saying that usually haven't built a business, usually haven't done anything apart from, the bare minimum. Not to be
Yeah.
horrible, but a
Right.
lot of our parents try and keep us safe. Our fucking Aunt Jill, whoever it is, they're doing what they think is right.
They
But
are.
like,
But I
also,
will
Aunt Jill, fuck off and leave me to it. At the same time, love you, but like,
exactly.
go away.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like I finally there was a comedian, George Carlin, comedian
Yeah,
George Carlin. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
He talked about, he's like, I just want to invent one medication for everything. It's called fuck it all. And I
yeah.
agree. It's like, I look at anything that has to do with the opposite of what I want to do. And I'm like, that gets the fuck it all. I don't care. That goes, chuck that in the fuck it bucket. That does not matter to me. That's not my problem
Yeah.
because I used to care so deeply about what every person on the face of planet Earth thought of me. And a lot
Mhm.
of us, I think, do. And
Yeah.
then we have this glorious moment where you're
Yeah.
like, wait, I don't like everybody. Why do
Yeah.
I think everybody should like me? And
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
And that also helps you. And I don't love the word niche because I prefer to stack like
Mhm.
our unrepeatable genius is like stacking our talents
Mhm.
and marrying it all together to make our niche, right?
Mhm.
But watching, I don't know, there's just something about watching somebody realize what they're capable of.
Yeah.
It's like it's a high. I mean, I
It is.
love what we do. We're
Yeah.
very lucky.
We are. We are
We're very
so like
lucky.
we are so fucking lucky. Like it's like blessed, but not like yeah, the luck took hard work and it always does.
Oh
But
yeah.
I think, yeah, just appreciating. And I think when I was like in a position in business where I like had no clients because I was still very like baby business, I was
Mhm.
so like, oh man, no feeling is worse than this because I just want to fucking help people. Now, genuinely, I wake up every day and I'm like stoked. Like, this is fucking awesome. So blessed, so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah.
I literally,
Yeah, you
yeah,
look in the
can't
mirror
say
and you're
for it.
like, "Wait, I
What the
woke up,
fuck?
I pulled this little electrical impulse from my brain and went, 'This one,'
Yeah,
and made it into
yeah,
something real that pays me money. Are you fucking kidding me?"
it's crazy.
And then being able to do that for others and show them that it's totally doable for them no matter what their diverse little brain is
Yeah.
tell them.
Exactly. Yeah, no
I mean,
matter what, exactly, because we're all so different.
yeah.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so
Oh.
much for coming on and being our first ever guest.
And
Honestly, it couldn't have
I
been
don't know if
better.
you saw my mug, but I definitely brought my special mug. It says, "I do not spew profanities. I enunciate them clearly like a fucking lady." So that
Yeah,
was my tea mug that I
I
brought
love
to
it.
be with you today. I
That's so
cannot
good.
wait to have you on my podcast. I
I know it's
cannot
going to be
wait. We
fun.
will plan that very soon because if this conversation is any indication, we're going to have a blast.
We will have a blast. Thank you so, so much again.
You're
And
so welcome.
guys, I will see. Oh, wait, hang on. Where can people find you?
Like, just joking. Well, I just had my website redone. It looks like the inside of my brain. So if you want to know what I am like or my vibe, it's carrieoutloud.com. You can also find me on Instagram at carrieoutloud, and my spelling is Karrie is my first name. So yeah, on Instagram, Threads, and my website. Those are the best ways. Oh, and my podcast, The ADHD Entrepreneur, which
Mhm.
is for feral female women who refuse to play by the fucking rules. That's probably a lot of you listening. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely is. I love it.
I
I
love
will
that
link
about it.
everything in the show notes so people won't miss it. So yeah, you can find Karrie in all those places, and I will see you guys next week.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.